and then they laid the red carpet at the wrong.
Stanley Baxter was one of Scotland's most beloved entertainers, a man whose voice, timing, and sharp observational humor left a lasting mark on British television, radio, and stage. For decades, he was a household name, admired not only for his comedy, but also for his intelligence, versatility, and deep respect for the craft of performance. His life story is one of dedication, creativity, and quiet dignity, stretching from the hardships of wartime Britain to a long retirement marked by privacy and reflection. Stanley Baxter was born on May 24, 1926, in Glasgow, Scotland. He grew up in a working-class environment where humor was often a way of coping with life's challenges. From a young age, Baxter showed an unusual sensitivity to sound and speech. He was fascinated by accents, vocal rhythms, and the subtle differences in how people express themselves. This early curiosity would later become the foundation of his comedic genius. As a child, Baxter was shy and introspective, but he found confidence in performance. He attended Hillhead High School in Glasgow, where his teachers noticed his intelligence and creativity. He later studied at the Royal Scottish Academy of Music and Drama, now known as the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland. This formal training gave him a strong grounding in acting, voice control, and classical performance, skills that would set him apart from many comedians of his era. His early adulthood was shaped by World War II. Like many young men of his generation, Baxter's plans were interrupted by national service. He served in the British Army, an experience that exposed him to people from all walks of life and further sharpened his observational skills. The characters he met during this time would later influence many of his comic creations. After the war, Baxter returned to entertainment with renewed focus. He began working in radio, a medium perfectly suited to his talent for voices and character work. His ability to switch effortlessly between personalities made him stand out, and audiences quickly responded to his warmth and originality. Radio success soon led to opportunities in television, which was rapidly becoming the dominant form of entertainment in Britain. Stanley Baxter's breakthrough came with television comedy shows that showcased his remarkable range. He was not just a joke teller. He was a performer who inhabited characters fully. His sketches often featured exaggerated but recognizable figures from Scottish and British life. What made his humor special was that it was never cruel. Even when poking fun at social types or cultural habits, there was always an underlying affection. One of his most famous creations was the parody of political broadcasts, where he combined sharp satire with impeccable mimicry. These performances demonstrated his intelligence and awareness of current affairs, elevating his comedy beyond simple slapstick. Audiences appreciated that he treated them as thoughtful viewers capable of enjoying layered humor. Throughout the 1950s, 1960s, and 1970s, Baxter became a regular presence on British television. His programs were watched by millions, and his influence extended beyond Scotland to the entire United Kingdom. Despite this fame, he remained grounded and cautious about celebrity. He valued privacy and was uncomfortable with excessive public attention. In addition to comedy, Baxter was a serious actor. He appeared in stage productions and films, proving that his talents were not limited to humor. He had a deep love for theater and literature, and he approached every role with discipline and respect. This seriousness sometimes surprised audiences who knew him mainly as a comedian, but it earned him admiration within the acting community. As the entertainment industry evolved, Baxter became increasingly selective about his work. By the late 1970s, he chose to step back from regular television appearances. This decision was not due to a lack of popularity, but rather a personal choice. He felt that comedy was changing in ways that did not always align with his values, and he preferred to withdraw gracefully rather than overstay his welcome. Stanley Baxter's personal life was notably private. He was married to his wife, Meg, and their marriage lasted for many years. Unlike many public figures, Baxter kept his family life out of the spotlight. He believed that fame should not intrude on personal relationships, and he was determined to protect his loved ones from media scrutiny. The couple did not have children, and Baxter rarely spoke publicly about his family. Those who knew him personally described him as kind, thoughtful, and deeply loyal. His friendships were long-lasting, and he valued intellectual conversation, music, and the arts more than social celebrity events. In terms of lifestyle, Stanley Baxter lived modestly compared to many entertainers of his stature. He enjoyed a quiet life, particularly in his later years, spending time reading, listening to music, and reflecting on his career. He had a strong interest in classical music and poetry, and he supported the arts through charitable contributions. Baxter was also known for his generosity. Over the years, he donated significant sums to cultural institutions in Scotland, particularly those focused on theater, music, and education. He believed strongly in nurturing young talent and preserving Scotland's cultural heritage. His philanthropy was often carried out quietly, without public announcements or recognition. When discussing Stanley Baxter's net worth, it is important to understand that exact figures were never publicly confirmed. However, it is widely believed that he accumulated a comfortable fortune through decades of successful work in television, radio, theater, and film. His disciplined approach to money and relatively modest lifestyle meant that he was financially secure without being extravagant. Rather than spending lavishly, Baxter chose to invest in causes he cared about. His financial legacy is closely tied to his charitable donations, which have continued to support the arts in Scotland even after his passing. This aspect of his life reflects his belief that success carries a responsibility to give back. Stanley Baxter lived to an advanced age, reaching 94 years old. His later years were marked by declining health, which is common at such an age. He passed away on October 9, 2020. The cause of death was not linked to any sudden incident, but was understood to be related to natural causes associated with old age. His death was peaceful, and tributes quickly poured in from across the entertainment world. Following his passing, fellow comedians, actors, and broadcasters praised Baxter's intelligence, originality, and kindness. Many described him as a pioneer who raised the standard of television comedy. Younger performers acknowledged his influence, noting how his attention to detail and respect for language set an example that remains relevant. The public response to his death reflected the deep affection audiences felt for him. Viewers remembered watching his shows with family members,